On the terrace, Dawn was found by Albie looking at the sky.
You're spacing out a little while we were eating. Is everything okay, Don?
No, there's a lot going on in my mind, Albie.
It's okay. You don't have to tell me. Let's pass this night and enjoy our trip tomorrow. Michael prepared so much for us. Aren't you excited? I heard there'll be a lot of girls there.
Can I ask something, Albie?
Sure. What is it?
Have I always been a bad person or an evil one? I think I have always been the problem. Everything just goes wrong when I'm there.
Not that I've seen you do bad things. No. I I mean, not that because I don't see it, it doesn't happen, but if this has something to do with your parents, you're not a bad person. And especially not an evil one.
Before going to the province for the trip, Dawn and her parents had a big argument that extremely affected her, sticking around in her mind even hours after. As the first day went by, Dawn pretended to not be affected by it at all. But as hours passed, her fringing thoughts started to eat up her mind. Although it was normal for her to have felt this way as she argued with her parents, this one felt different. It felt worse. Dawn felt like her heart could shatter at any moment. It was as if she was one recollection of her parents' voice away from breaking, and to Dawn, nobody would have noticed. But she was wrong. It was only Albie who had noticed the growing stress on her. The girl. Same sadness. As the cold breeze of the forest sang with their cries, the sorrow they felt made the night's air colder. For at night, the forest was not the place of beauty it was in the day. The night hides its many secrets, blanketing the pain and death it houses in darkness. As the night quickly unfolds, a group of men is on its way deep down into the forest. For they know someone who's waiting for them, or these men just know that it is a spot for young women to unwind with the forest. Either way, the forest knows that it will happen again. With a breeze, fog, and slippery track, the men aren't affected by this, as this will also help them catch their victim more easily. Dawn, who is still absent minded, thinks on how she can cope up with this situation. Only one thing came to her mind: to leave the house and take a stroll. Despite her recalling the crimes buzzing around the province and the posing threats in the middle of the night, Dawn quickly made up her mind to go outside. Unknowingly, Albie, who is still worried for her, is in the other room waiting for her to go out.
Where are you going? It's dangerous out there, Dawn. Haven't we heard of the warnings from the locals here?
God, Albie, please, just this once. Let me be alone. I want to think about everything.
But if you go outside, I'll go with you.
No, I need to be alone. I'll be back. I will come back, Albie. I promise.
The latter can't do anything but to let Dawn go out. Albie knows how it's comforting for Dawn to be alone in times of self-crisis. Dawn as an individual doesn't want to be dependent on someone. She wants to face things only by herself. But Albie, who's been with her, doesn't want Dawn to fight the battle she is facing within herself.
Please be back. Call me if you need something.
I'll be okay. Go to sleep. Don't fret about me.
As Dawn goes out of the house, a tear came out of her eyes. She didn't know why, but she knows when she will come back, there's someone who's anticipating her return. The forest was dark, gloomy, and foggy, just like what Dawn feels. Dawn had to use a flashlight to keep on her tracks. Her phone, that is still out of coverage for a signal, adds to her struggle in the start of her stroll. On the other side of the forest, where Dawn is supposed to go, there's a group of men waiting for their prey. Dawn feels the track she's going through is a bit skeptical. Unusual from the track they go through earlier that day is far different from that. She was right. As Dawn started to dive into the dark forest, unaware that there were eyes on her, she started to rethink the action she made since yesterday. A lot of thoughts have been inside her head that it made her lose connection with whatever is happening in her surroundings. She didn't notice that the group of men eyeing her a while ago was now a few meters near her, waiting for the perfect moment to attack her. Not long enough, Dawn started to drift back to reality when she heard the strong rustling of leaves. Her steps were halted as she tried to calm herself down and toughen up.
Man, hold her down!
Please, stop!
But the men only laughed and tightened their grip on her. They whispered lewd comments in her ear, their hot breath making her skin crawl. Dawn felt sick with disgust as their hands roamed over her body, touching her in places she never wanted to be touched.
Don't waste your energy. You don't stand a chance.
Let her be. It's more fun when they try to fight back.
As the men forced her to the ground, Dawn's fear turned into a desperate, primal terror. She screamed for help, but no one came. She tried to fight back, but it was no use. The men were too strong, too determined. In that moment, Dawn knew that she was completely at their mercy. She closed her eyes and prayed for it to be over soon, praying that she would somehow survive this nightmare. But as the men continued to violate her body, Dawn realized with a sickening sense of horror that her life would never be the same again. Dawn sees a glint of metal in one of the men's hands. It's a knife. She screams and struggles, but the men hold her tightly. And then the knife comes down. Dawn's scream turned into a gurgle as blood pours from her throat. The men watch with cold indifference as she struggles to breathe.
She's too loud. Cover her mouth.
One of the men takes a cloth and harshly presses it to Dawn's mouth, making her final moments of breathing all the more difficult. Dawn's eyes fluttered shut as she took her final breath. The moments before her consciousness slipped away, her thoughts turned to the people who would bring her killers to justice. She thought of her family and friends, who would mourn her passing and fight to ensure that her murderers were punished for their heinous crime. She thought of the police, who would search tirelessly for clues and work tirelessly to bring the perpetrators to justice. And as she thought of these people, a small sense of peace settled over her. It was a small comfort, knowing that her death would not be in vain, that it would serve as a catalyst for change. But even as she felt this fleeting sense of relief, a deep sadness and regret washed over her. She wished she had more time to spend with those she loved, more time to experience the joys of life. And most of all, she wished she had the courage to confess her love to Albie, to tell her how much she meant to her and how much she would miss her. As Dawn's life slipped away from her, she felt a deep and overwhelming sense of regret. Regret for all the things she hadn't done, for all the things she hadn't said. As her vision blurred and her breaths became shallower, Dawn's mind was consumed with thoughts of Albie. She wished she had been brave enough to confess her love, to tell Albie how much she meant to her. She imagined the look of surprise and joy on Albie's face, the warmth of her embrace, the feeling of being truly loved. But it was too late now. Dawn's heart ached with the knowledge that she would never have the chance to tell Albie how she felt. She would never get to hear Albie's response, never get to hold her close. Tears streamed down Dawn's face as she gasped for breath. She wanted to scream, to rage against the unfairness of it but all she could manage was a choked whisper.
Albie, I'm sorry. I should have been honest with myself. I love you.
And with those final words, Dawn's body went limp. She had breathed her last, her heart filled with regret and longing for the love she had never been able to share.
But Dawn's death did not go unwitnessed, for the forest hides not only the crimes of the wicked, but provides a path for the weak.
Oh my God!
Ate Dawn!
The fear that emits from the situation never left even after Dawn herself dies. From the bushes just a few feet away, two children bear witness to the crime that just unfolded. What was meant to just be a shortcut to their way home turned into a moment that changed the trajectory of the two children's lives forever. Faye grabs Rome by the hand, tugging at it to signal for them to have to leave, but she stops when she notices a device in his hand, a small phone.
Huh? Where did you get that? Faye asks. But Rome doesn't budge. Instead, he slowly inches closer, trying his best not to step onto any stray twigs or dry leaves. We have to go!
We can't. I need to get a clear shot of their face for.
The men snapped their heads towards the general direction of where the sound must have come from. One of them slowly began to approach the bush Faye and Rome were hiding behind, the footsteps getting heavier and heavier. Rome could feel the grip Faye has on his hand increasingly become tighter, a shake intensifying throughout both of their arms as the man gets closer and closer. But just before the man could move the bush away to see what was behind it, Faye sprints, hand still on Rome's.
Run! Please, just run! Faye screams, running through the forest as the trees around it seem to zip past her. Rome follows suit, running along behind her. But he makes a fatal mistake, one that could have lingering consequences had he thought about it twice. As the two run, Rome turns his head around and makes eye contact with one of the men. He sees his face. The man sees his. As the two children run on, the man stood there silent.
You're not going to chase them, man! Are you stupid?
No, I got the voice face in the girl's voice. Small village. We'll get them.
But the boy was holding a phone. He's probably got a video.
We just have to find Kick enough tomorrow. He's a kid. I doubt he even got a good frame of our faces in the video.
That seemingly convinced the rest of the men as they waste no time getting back to business. They carry Dawn's body in the shadows of the night throughout the dense forest and dump her into the ravine. And she floats, her body slowly flowing along the water. That part of the forest is quiet, almost serene, with nothing but the sound of the running water and occasional breeze. As her body floats away, the nightly scene of the forest continues on as per usual, as if nothing ever happened.